Hi, I am Joanna, and I am making this recording for chapter 3 of special topics for TESOL class. So I think I'll be answering three questions, and the first question is about the podcast that I have listened. So I usually listen to a lot of podcasts and watch YouTube videos regarding ESL teaching and education, which actually helped me a lot on how to, apply methods in my classes, how to make it comfortable for my students, and how I could improve myself when it comes to teaching the second language. I mean, the English is a second language. So I've listened to one of the ESL topic for educational podcast, and the title is Your First Day with Newcomer EL Students, and this is by Eva Grosleys. So this topic is actually one of the most challenging part of teaching ESL, at least for me, during the first meeting. So these EL students usually come from different countries with different cultures, and they came to the US, they came here. Most of them, or probably half of them, um, it could be their first time, and they couldn't even have the hang of the language. And some of them, they have the culture shock and the feeling of uneasiness in the class, and the uneasiness or the tension between the class is something that I want to work on during the first day of the class. So they are in a foreign country, learning a foreign language, and most of them, they're alone and they have to make friends in the first class. So what I always think is how to make it comfortable for them. And according to these podcasts, which I totally agree on and I always apply in my class, is for the educator or for the teacher to always put ourselves on the student's shoe. So when I was a student in Japan, I couldn't speak the language, I couldn't read the characters, and it was really challenging for me on the first couple of months living there. But because my teachers and my instructors are very friendly and they're really good, they have a good methods, they know how to control the class, they made it easier for me and for my classmates to learn and to be able to be comfortable in the class. So the podcast actually explained some of the steps that an educator should apply in the class. So one is to be, or the first one is to be very careful with the names. So these foreign names are actually difficult to pronounce, and some students are very sensitive when it comes to pronouncing their names. So it is just right to ask the student on how to properly um, say their name, or sometimes how they wanted to be called. So if they have a nickname, or if they want to be called on the second name. And this is how you start the connection. And then the next one would be using simple words. On the very first day of the class, this is like the assessment stage. So during this assessment stage, um, I'm also learning and I'm trying to figure out my students' level. And of course, it is safe to use simple words and vocabularies to have a connection, to start a connection and communication with the students. I don't want to scare away my students and just left there hanging and questioning what am I saying? So yeah, agree with this step number two, and I always apply it in my class. The third one is pairing or partnering the students. This is how they usually connect and make friends and like a study buddy. And if they were able to find their person in the class, meaning their friends, then it will be easier for them to attend the class and understand the topic. And if they have any questions, sometimes most of the students are really shy to ask questions. But if they have a partner or yeah, like a study partner, then they could help each other answer some questions. Um, the next one would be simple rules or stick with the same routine. So this one connects with creating or using simple words. So let's not make it complicated. Make simple rules and stick with a routine until everyone gets used to the rule. Um, the next one would be visual aids. So these are very useful and they're very important in every ESL classes. Visual scheduling and visual aids are very um, good if you put them in the wall or present them in the class. We don't want to confuse the students with how the scheduling would be. We do different things every day. We have different books. Some, some classes we have to move from one classroom to another. And there are many events and activities that are planned for the rest of the semester. And if we have the visual schedule, it will be easier for them to understand and plan ahead. It will be easier for them to plan their schedule ahead of time. Okay. And then another one, I think I'm just going to choose one more. Well, according to Miss Ava, connection over the content. So connection is very good, meaning you understand each other, um, making it comfortable for the student. Then um, thinking of completing the book or finishing the book for the whole semester. But if the students are not comfortable, then I don't think they will be motivated enough to attend the class, do their homework, and participate. But if the students are engaged in the class and you know that they ask questions, then they're more open. That means you have the connection with your students, and I think that is more important because if they have the connection, if you have the connection with your students, then um, you have the communication. And with that, they would be able to produce the language and speak the language in the class. And that is our target. That is my target to hear my students speak English, read English, write in English. And with the connection over the content, I think that is possible. Okay. And then we have, I think, question number two. Um, yeah. So I think question number two would be ways on um, using Web 2.0 tools in the class. I think so. I don't think I have used these tools in my class as a teacher, but I definitely use them as a student since I am doing a lot of online classes before. So the very first one is collaboration. So with collaboration, then every students in the class would be able to share their ideas, um, and then they can also work on project together. So some of these tools that we have used before would be Google Documents and online wikis. So for the Google Documents, um, if we are working in a group, then even if we're far from each other, we can share and discuss our ideas and our project using Google Docs. Another ways I think would be content creation. So just like what our homework now, so we have this, we have YouTube. Um, I'm a video shy person, but I am trying to be creative. So with content creation, students would boost their creativity on making blogs, making videos and presentations. And YouTube would be common one. And what else? Another platforms, probably Vimeo, um, or like the iMac recorder. So I think that could work too. Um, Another one, and I think, um, which is also important, would be accessibility. So with Web 2.0 tools, we can access these tools as long as we have the internet connection or we have the device. Then it is also free. Most of these tools are free. Of course, they have the premium account, but we can always access them with um, free free accounts. So um, also personalized learning. So personalized learning is very useful as a way for students to have and to access the materials whenever they need it, whenever we need it, and to always go back to the previous lessons, like Brightspace and the Blackboard. So these are very helpful for me personally, as I am a mom and I also work at the same time. But whenever I have my free time, I try to review the previous lessons and try to read again and again until I'm able to understand the topic. And this is personalized learning. So, and for number three, the question is about um, my feeling the diff- my feeling about using Prezi and what I think um, is its difference with PowerPoint presentation. So it is in real honesty that it's my first time to use this tool, to hear about it, and I I read about it and I did a little research. Um, it's because I've been using PowerPoint presentation since I was in high school, even after I started working until now. So the feeling of using a new tool for an assignment is a little nerve-wracking for me. Before I started opening the tool, I was actually thinking if I could navigate it or if I'll be needing some more help for me to make a slide and a presentation. But to be honest, it wasn't that difficult. It wasn't that bad at all. It was easy for me to navigate and to understand the features, although I know that I was not able to explore the entire tool and its features. I was so happy that I completed the task of making a short presentation. Comparing it to PowerPoint, I think it's because I'm used to it that I feel like I like PowerPoint that Prezi. I think the features are more detailed and emphasized when it comes to PowerPoint than Prezi. Prezi, on the other hand, has a very nice surface. I like the path, the slides. They're simple, but they're catchy after you finish it and then do a preview of it. Um, Also, I was a bit confused with the names and the terminologies for the features of Prezi. I would like to learn more about it, to read more about this tool, and I am glad that I have another option aside from PowerPoint presentation. It's never really bad to learn new things and new materials, especially now that um, everything is becoming virtual, everything in education, we use technology. And I think it's time for us to um, dig in and research on more tools for us educator to have our classes easier for the students to understand and easier for us to complete our materials that we'll be using in the class. So um, I will still be using PowerPoint presentation, but for simple presentations that I'll be using for the class, I will try Prezi again. Again, it wasn't difficult for me. Well, I like, I kind of sort of like technology, although I'm not a techie person. Um, I'm not into gadgets, but for some reasons, I love learning, especially if I know that it will help me in the long run, or it will help me with my task. Also, I noticed that Prezi is incorporated with the AI. So when I started to name my project for the presentation, it asked for the description, and I put some words in there about web-based tools. And I was surprised as soon as I hit the next button, it gave me options that are actually based on the description and these are what I'm looking for. So it this tool made it easier for me, and it gave me a lot of ideas. It gave me a lot of options. Even the wordings, even the wordings are there. And I don't think I use that, or I I was able to learn that with PowerPoint. So yeah, so that is something I almost forgot to say, that Prezi actually I think is linked with AI. And the wordings, the layout, those are actually what I was looking for. Although they're not perfect, I need to add more. I need to delete some of the words. I wanted to change the pictures and a bit of a layout, but still it was able to help me and finish um the presentation faster than what I normally expected. So yeah, I think that's all about it. Thanks for watching.